You always have a negative and a positive. Everyone has those, no matter who you are. You can always make a decision. It's up to you what one you're going to choose. And I say to people all the time, you still have a choice. You've got enough sanity to say, well, I need to make a better choice tomorrow. And then the day after, mess up on Wednesday, get back on track on Friday. Friday. Moving through all the different facets and all the different parts of my journey, I'm now a CEO and a company owner and founder of Job Ready. That company is about reducing reoffending through empowerment, education, enterprise, and hopefully employment. I design training packages around employability, transferable skills, conflict resolution, peer pressure. In my old life, typical day would be get up, get on the phones, go and meet. A day would definitely start with taking cocaine from whatever time. And then everyone's suited and booted and go. Day or night, the door's coming off, or if the door ain't coming off, we're knocking and we're walking straight in. Simple. And we'd do that, come back to Birmingham, party for 3-4 days, be awake for 3-4 days, and then go again. The crime started as early as slipping a Mars bar up my sleeve.
They used to think I was crazy in Barcelona, the amount of times I ran around.
David! David! I travelled the world with my father. Glastonbury extensively, reggae sunsplash, France, Holland, Spain.
Went to India, he had his 7th birthday in India, came back and they all got arrested.
My father used to be involved in a lot of criminal activity in those trips abroad, and I was exposed to vast amounts of money, vast amounts of narcotics. I didn't expect to see the things that I've seen and witness the things that I witnessed. At the age of 12, 13, having to lock my father in the house, padlock him in the house so he couldn't escape and go and get crack cocaine, cutting deals with me about not going to school. If he gave me 40 fags of an evening, and I gave him all the ash, I didn't have to go to school. He was sending me to these crack houses that it was normal for them to see me in there because I was Crip Bruce's son and I'd been there 4 times the night before to go and get however much crack cocaine. There'd be guns on the table, there'd be tables of narcotics, and there'd be people in there like taking these drugs for 3-4 days in a row. These guys are off their heads. So it led to me taking advantage of those situations, and that kind of spiraled into a whirlwind of, being wanted, being chased, thinking I was the man, thinking I was untouchable. 20 years ago, there was a major incident here involving myself, and it was something that I was facing a long sentence. It was an attempted murder charge that got dropped down to a Section 18.
Nathan had got 2 Crown Court cases going on at the time. There was a lot going on with his father, so he witnessed a lot of negative behaviour and a lot of drug dealing. I noticed that Nathan was frustrated and that he was there was underlying anger, and I thought this is a crossroads.
I remember getting off that charge, and then I found Islam. I'm no preacher, I'm no holy man, but if I ask a question that goes A, B, C, and that makes sense in my head, I'll go with it. And when I embraced Islam, everything separated itself from me with ease. I went and got married. I had 4 beautiful children. It was very much, Dad, I'm there morning and night. Anything they were involved in, I was there. Breakdown of that marriage was where it kind of all fell apart again. Kind of triggered a whole set of what I call evil behaviour, because that's what it was. What I got back into was way more extreme. You're a lone soldier and you're damaged, man. You ain't gonna win. Helen Jane Lang, man, she played a massive role in me changing, massive. She had something about her. I've come from, ups and downs and drama in my life, and I've been through this and I've been through that. She'd be like, what you on about? Just dance now. And I'd be like, this girl's nuts. I met her while I was that guy, but she was nipping away at me. She started saying things that no one around me in that environment that I was in would even dare say, or it just wasn't a conversation topic change. Everyone thought they were great. We was eating pizza at my mother's house. She looked at me, she said her head's hurting. Went on the landing with her to get some fresh air, looked at her again, and her face had changed colour. I said, look, we've got to go to the hospital. She passed away in the passenger seat of my car on the way to the hospital. I had choices to make after that, massive choices, like, you know, everyone's, oh, he's gonna go off the rails, his head's gonna go. I'm not gonna lie, it did. I was back doing certain things I wish I didn't do. I was doing them to a different level. I was just being a nasty, nasty piece of work. And then I pulled myself together. I started looking at it in the light of, even though I'm not with this woman, she came to do something and that was done. Why am I unraveling it? I can have all the money in the world and all the women and all the drugs. I'm at rock bottom, like spiritually, emotionally, mentally. I'm at rock bottom. I needed to cut away from that life. To make the changes that I wanted to make, I had to give up the company that I was around. I had to make the decision of going and humbling myself and giving up that lifestyle. Put myself in a hostel. The gold's gone, the car's gone, the lifestyle's gone. Difficult choice, but knew I had to make it. Everyone literally was saying, have you seen Nath? Nath was gone off his head. But I had a plan, I had a mission. I had visions of being productive, I had visions of being of assistance to others, but first and foremost, I needed to be assistance to myself. Didn't know how to, didn't have any qualifications, had a criminal record, thought, how am I gonna go out there and how am I gonna do anything that I wanna do when these things are in place? I just thought I need to be involved in something productive. I need to be around people that are doing something productive. I started volunteering, and then I started working alongside probation. The changes in probation, they affect service users in a positive way, for sure, because the changes are steered by the service users. They're willing to listen to the ugliest cry of a service user and try and see if they can do something with that. So when they get their voice heard, see it manifest into an action, obviously that's a moment of empowerment. The new notions in probation that I witnessed and I was part of, I believe they affected me in a very positive way. There's never gonna be one place that can do everything. So my work that I do now, hopefully assists probation. They have a narrative, they have an idea, they have a passion, they have a dream. Job Ready also has a dream. All our outreach workers, all our mentors, everyone is ex-offender. We all have a very much similar journey. What that ethos does, it gives vital parallels. What we say is not very much different from anybody that cares about you. That's the reality. It's just that it's coming from somebody that has parallels with their journey. We get the peer mentoring arms, we do training programs inside the jails. When they're released from the jails, we get them into training. We have a partnership also with Enter-Key Limited that delivers training, forklift training, free driver lessons, CSCS cards. So we kind of have those progressive pathways for service users. People used to put their mouth on me and say, oh, he's gone from Mr. Gangster to Mr. Volunteer. Now, when I bump into people, that light bulb moment that me and them have, priceless. All that energy, time, resources you put into negativity, you have to put into your positive journey. And when you do, you reap the benefit. And once you get into that positive bubble and that positive space, things start gravitating towards you. After a 10-year long gap of not having any contact with my father, probably my first or second week within volunteering, I was working side by side with my father in Gloucester probation. I understand now, I understand the difficulties of being the perfect person and not having any flaws for your kids to point out. When you have children of your own, it's easy to understand that you can easily make mistakes. My son going to jail was something that I always prayed and always hoped would never happen. He's doing life, you know, recommendation of 24 years. When he comes out and he sees the daylight again, he's going to be older than me. Until you've had children yourself and you're making your own mistakes, you don't really realise the reality that everyone's a human being and they're doing their best. I've been divorced now nine, coming up to 10 years almost. Most of that I weren't in their lives. And the past 2 years, really, that now I've got my children back with me.
A lot of excitement in those days. Yep.
I don't have that fear of what if I lose everything, what if this goes, what if that happens? Will I go back to crime? No, I'm not interested. I feel free, man.
In his youth, he was ranks, major reds. In his latter teens, he became Abdullah and he embraced Islam. And then he became Nathan Emanuel again, and now he's back to being Abdullah. He's got a new partner, got the happy ever after syndrome going on. I don't know whether I should have said that.
We all created unique. Don't settle for less within yourself. There's a uniqueness in you that is powerful.